Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do start, let's give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of things have happened. Deku has done quite a lot. He was attacked by some of Region's forces at his own home, and that was a bit of a problem. They broke into the apartment and tried to interrogate Izuku Midori about what exactly has been going on. Regent knows Spider-Man has a child, and a few things are going on there. Whenever the power pack was revealed at a public school, Regent sent out agents. Spider-Man made his first appearance in years there, and they figured out a few things. This was a puzzle they put together. They know Spider-Man has a kid. They know he possibly has a son or a daughter. And that was definitely quite curious. Of the parents who pulled their children out of school, Izuku Midoriya and Cindy Midoriya are two on the list who pulled out 3 kids. And those kids have not returned to school. In fact, those kids have not been seen anywhere in New York. They know that Izuku Midoriya went to Genosha, so it's believed that right now his kids, one of them may be a possible mutant. And that is why they were put in Genosha. However, they also have records showing that Izuku Midoriya went to Latveria, and that was also quite intriguing. So, they wanted to interrogate him, find out exactly what he was doing in Latveria, find out why his kids may or may not be in Genosha. If one of them is a mutant, now that they're in that country, they will be protected under Magneto's laws. So, there's not much they can do there without violating a peace treaty. However, they can handle the Latveria situation. Blue Marvel stepped in to save Izuku, and Deku, he tried to convince the man to help him, but he didn't want to get involved because of the risk of him being captured by Regent, and making that man nearly unstoppable again. He didn't know what was going on. If he fights Regent and he has the powers of the Sentry, they may break the world. He already has the powers of the Hulk and the Sentry combined. If he goes against that, he knows he'll lose. And that was a bit of a problem. Deku tried to give the man information, show him what he could, but the man would not listen. Deku, he took things into his own hands, however. Because of the situation with Izuku Midoriya, Regent needs to be focused on Spider-Man more heavily. So, he contacted Black Cat, and he now owes her a favor. Deku got some of the Avengers out of Regent's custody, and that put a lot more focus on Spider-Man. It made Regent mad, and Deku was able to assemble some of the Avengers. However, that's not the only thing going on right now. Something is wrong with Izuku Midoriya. He's hearing voices and he's stressed out. It might be PTSD, it might be undiagnosed mental issues. It's not really too clear right now. But Deku, ever since he took a serum to enhance his abilities, has felt a little bit different, more aggressive, more prone to violence, and he's felt more power than he's ever had in his life. Now, with all that being said, let's pick up with Izuku Midoriya. Right now. Deku, he does somewhat sit there. Right now he is waiting. He's curious. It's been a long time. It's been how long? It's been over what now? 7, 8, 9 years almost, right? Maybe more than 9 years, but it's definitely around that ballpark. His sister, Julia, she lays there in the hospital bed still recovering. She still hasn't regained consciousness. And Deku just wait. It's been hours, and yet she still has not woken up. He's concerned, worried. There's a lot to say to her, a lot to really catch up on. He's tried filling in the Avengers. He's talked to Cap, he's talked to Iron Man, he talked to, well, Captain Marvel now, and He's even talked to Widow. Things are definitely intriguing. They were quite surprised about how much time has passed, but they're also quite surprised that Spider-Man was still alive and kicking. They remember the Avengers falling, and they remember Spider-Man came to the battlefield. At least one person remembers him being thrown around by Regent before they passed out, and they were concerned as to whether or not Spider-Man may be able to face this threat. Deku, though, Deku made things quite clear. He was alive, he was better than ever, and he had more power. He had the resources to stop Regent. And Iron Man, he was definitely impressed with the fact that Deku's company has been surpassing his own in the last couple years. So, other than a little bit of jealousy, Iron Man needs a workshop. So, there is that. And Deku has told people about what's going on. And Julia, right now, does want to open her eyes. Her a bit groggy and not feeling too well. Her going to actually sit up and look around. Regent, Regent, they were fighting Regent. Her jumping up and going to actually throw herself out of the bed. Her going to run to the door as a web is shot directly onto it. Her looking around the room confused as Deku does actually leap down from the ceiling. Hey, Julia. You, you, you're here. But, Regent, what's going on? Did we beat him? I don't. It's been a while. Deku bring his hand up and going to actually pull off his mask. And she does actually want to look at Deku a bit more surprised. No, 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 no. What what happened to you? I aged. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot to explain. A lot to explain. Have you been working out? Oh, this? Yeah, no, I'll talk to you about that in a minute. I increased my powers with an experiment, and it worked. It was a little dangerous, but I've seen progress. But it's almost been a decade since you've been asleep. Um, a decade? Yeah. Listen, I didn't know the best way to say it to you, so I just flat out said it to you, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been living my life. I gave up. I was afraid. You you gave up on us? You gave up on being a hero? Julia, let me speak. What? You have to remember everyone that we've lost, that I've lost. Toga, Dad, Mom, Ben, Kane. I was forced to murder Kane with my own hands. After I came to, I was left in shock. Then I was put back under control of Adriana. Then I found out I had kids with her. Then I tried to be a hero and a father. I tried to be a CEO and I was able to. Julia, I almost lost my marriage because of Adriana, and I almost lost Cindy. Regent almost took away their father. You. I don't understand. I have another kid. We have four. His name is Eric. He's my son. He's Cindy's son. Listen, I don't expect you to forgive me, but I've had time. I've had time to make amends with what you did to Ben, okay? I don't expect you to forgive me either. But I know time will help you. It's been almost 7 years since you've been locked away. 7 years? Yeah. And then about the time my companies became more advanced, more powerful, and influential, but Regent also took over the world. These last couple of months, I've been working to try and help you guys get back out here, and I finally saved you. But I left behind a lot of people in the process. You. We're going to step forwards. And Deku, he expects a smack, a punch, or to be sent flying through the wall behind him. But Julie does get a rush towards him. Her bring her hands up and wrapping them around Deku. Her hugging him. And Deku actually is a bit more surprised. Him bringing his hands up and hugging Julia. She is family. And he's had to learn this lesson. He had so much regret over the years, so much going through his mind. And now he has family again, his family back, a family member back. And right now, Julia just won't pull away. Her talking about it. Okay, yeah, no, he's hugging her a bit tight. Sorry. Putting on about 50 pounds of muscle will do that to you. 50 pounds? Yeah. Along with that, I have noticed a few things. You have? Is there any side effects? No, there's not. You paused. I paused because there's a lot going on. We still need to stop Regent. There's still a lot to talk about. A lot to go over. Huh. Are you saying that we lost? I'm not saying that we lost. I'm saying we have another chance to stop him. Follow me. They're going to turn. Him going to rip open the door as the webs do going to fall off. And Julia doesn't watch that. The two walking through the shield base and talking about it. Shield has encountered many things over the years. They've had places destroyed, people killed and captured. And the heroes, they've definitely been taken down. If you're not suitable when it comes to powers, you are killed. If you are suitable and powerful, you are let live, or you are able to be left alive. Region will let you live, but use you as nothing more than a bona fide power battery. And that is not fun. That's what she's been enduring for the last couple of years. She'll notice that her abilities might be groggy. Region's effects may not have fully worn off yet. So, when they do, she'll be back at 100%. He doesn't know how her future sight might work, but he knows that they'll need it. Why haven't you called for help? Julia, I tried to call for help. I called whoever I could. Regent left me in a coma for a month after the battle. Jesus. I broke part of my skull. My spider sense was going off repeatedly, over and over and over. I broke my back, my legs, everything. I was almost left a cripple if it wasn't for my healing factor. Julia, he left me in a collapsed and broken building. And by the time I was out of that building, I was barely cohesive and alive. All he did was toss me around. And I was scared of everything. You don't know what that was like. Regent captured me, Izuku. I know what it's like to be scared. Not like I was. Not like I was. Listen. I know we have a lot of shit to work through. But right now, the Avengers need to gather. Then walking to a room. And Julieta's gonna look around. She sees Fury, Mockingbird, Sandman, the Spot, Hawkeye, Toxin, Captain America, Iron Man. I mean, she sees more people, but where's everyone else? They go walking in, turning back to her. You you can't be serious. I am. Listen, we have a big gun, but right now he's not playing games. Deku turning back. Him gonna walk over. Him gonna actually walk up and press a button on the table. The holographic wall gonna pop up. As Deku hears it to bring his hands up. Him beginning to at least talk. There's a lot of things they all need to go over. And he's gonna brief them on a lot of it right here and right now. Him pressing a button. I'm gonna turn back around. Tony Stark staying there and staring at him. Him in his Iron Man suit. And Deku, he does gonna start addressing everybody. He's gonna make things quite clear. All of them probably hate him. All of them need reasons to work with him. So he'll give them a reason. They're trying to rebuild the world and fix everything. And he knows how to. Regent took all of them on after he had the powers of the X-Men and several Inhumans, along with the powers of the Sentry and Thor. However, they have almost everybody free. I mean, he knows that Thor is, well, he doesn't exactly know where Thor is, but that's not the point. Right now, Regent doesn't have many of those powers left. He's pretty sure they can all take him on. They just need to be direct about this. If they oppose Regent directly and show the Avengers are back, people will respond. And he knows the best way to do that. They are going to cause a public uproar and make people face Regent. Make Regent face them. They all outnumber him. Especially because many of the people Regent has, they've been dealt with. And right now, Captain America does somewhat look at Deku when he said that. Dealt with? Exactly how did you do that? That's not important, Cap. Izuku, answer the question. That's not important. Izuku. I killed them. Is that what you want to hear me say? Everyone looking at Deku a bit more surprised. He killed people? They all threatened my family. Everyone in here keep that in mind. They threatened my children. Now, anyone else have questions? Yeah, kid. Stark stepping forwards, expressing. He does need a lab, and if they're going to oppose Regent, he knows the best way to do it. The guy runs Empire Unlimited, so what he's going to do is simple. Now that they have a plan, he's going to be making something. And he's well aware that Izuku, he must have the money to do it. Mr. Stark, there's a lot of things you don't realize I have. Number one, let's all move out. I'm going to turn and walk away. Captain America right now, a bit more intrigued to talk to Izuku about the way he's acting. And right now he does is going to follow. All of them loading up into a vehicle and heading out into New York. And everyone there a lot more surprised. I mean, they weren't expecting any of this. And they do get a look out of the truck. They're alarmed and surprised. New York changed. I mean, flying cars, automatic roadways, service robots. I mean, it looks crazy. This doesn't look like the same city it was before. But they also see everything. Regent's propaganda. Regent's billboards. I mean, they see villains running around and just breaking the law. And Deku doesn't even pull over. He doesn't bother. He keeps the truck going and heading to a location. Them arriving as Deku does a welcome them to the giant manor he bought. He welcomes them to the Avengers Mansion. And he tries to tell them all about what to do. As, right now, Deku, he does talk about it. Some other people are recovering here. And, well, he does hate to somewhat say this, but he sort of bought this to memorialize the X-Men after it all went down. You bought the X-Men's mansion? I mean, I did, but it was mainly turned into a trophy for Regent. So what did he do with it? I'm not exactly too sure. All I know is he kept it around, and he liked it. Reports say that he spent time here a lot after everything went down, processing his victory. Right now, Captain America will walk up. Him going to bring a hand on Deku's shoulder, informing him. He really does appreciate the help, but if he needs to take a break, he can. He's sure Izuku has been through a lot in the last few years. But that's just the thing. They can handle this from here on. And Deku does actually going to turn around. Him going to actually throw out his hand in Captain America. He does going to bring it up. Him going to bring up his shield, and Deku does smash his flat palm directly into it, pulling the shield backwards and throwing his hand out towards Cap. Smashing him directly in the chest as Captain America is then flying backwards. And Iron Man, he actually doesn't turn. Him going to respond to Deku. Him going to bring his hands up as Deku, he actually going to flip the shield around. Him going to block Tony Stark's attack as Deku does going to rush forwards. Him doing so and going to bring his hand up. Him going to grab onto the arc reactor and immediately bring his hand into the area and talk about it. Boom! He got the arc reactor. And everyone that used to going to turn and look at Deku. Him expressing to all of them. And that is how he could take them all down. What was that? A demonstration. Before my powers increased, I could have taken all of you down right here. The only one I really have difficulties with is Marvel. Glad to know you're thinking about me, kid. Your abilities are hardwired into you. Can't exactly turn them off. Though I can incapacitate you. Cut off your flow of oxygen, and that's it. Everyone else here is just closer to human than I am. Huh. Really, kid? Yeah. No hard feelings. But if I can take you all down, then I'd say you're not ready for Regent. And you are? No, I'm not, which is why we're all gathered together. Gain your bearings and get focused. I have to talk to a lot of people. T'Challa was captured, so I need to find Wakanda. I need to get into contact with someone there. Wakanda? Yeah. Please tell me you know the location of it, because that'd be really helpful right now. I don't. But what? What happened to the Avengers Tower? Regent... I don't know what he did with it. I think it's still standing, so... That or someone else bought it and... I don't really know. I think the place might have been trashed. Right. You haven't been keeping up on this stuff? I've been running a multi-billion-dollar company. I'm kind of busy. Also, I'm a dad. Right. Okay. So what's the plan then? Right now, I have a super adaptoid being built by my research team. After it's done, we can attack Regent. But I also need to contact someone. They're going to turn his head as another truck is going to land. And out does step a few people. Out steps Jessica Drew as she does to help a man down. A chair being set on the ground as Charles Xavier, he actually does somewhat move in. And the man does a step off. Him smelling a bit like tobacco. As some of the X-Men do get to walk up. And Deku, he does get to inform them. And this is the rest of their team. Huh? You said that was everyone. Now, Julia doesn't want to step forwards. Her talking about it. He said that there was no one left. She thought that this was everyone. And Deku doesn't want to turn to her. Talking about how he never said that. He told her that this was the team. However, he's happy to say the X-Men, they're all alive and kicking. He knows that their species is in a delicate situation right now. And Deku, he doesn't want to have Charles go to roll up, talking about it. Their species is in no situation right now. Right now, the world is in a different situation. Mutants can still be saved. and he's quite happy to learn there are still mutants being born. However, he is not happy to learn they are being taken by Regent. So, they will figure that all out. He wants to know exactly what has been going on, because from what he can tell, things here have been different. And Deku, he does is gonna get everyone inside the house right now, and he tries to inform all of them as to what happened. He gives them a rundown as to the plan. In some time, he is going to send a super adaptoid after Regent. And when that does happen, he plans to go in and free the rest of the heroes. After that, they'll all take on Regent at once. Regent will not be prepared for all of them, let alone half of them. So, whenever that has happened, he hopes that their big blue Boy Scout, he joins the battle. And when that happens, Regent will lose. He won't let that man get away this time. He won't let him endanger his family. Deku actually is going to look a lot more serious. In Captain America, he can tell. He's seen soldiers with shell shock. He's seen some of them who they didn't really get out of the war. It followed them home. And Deku? Deku looks like he's still in that war. He's fighting something. And right now, Steve, he doesn't want to keep that to himself. If everyone else realizes that the leader of this team isn't doing too hot, they might as well quit. So he needs to talk to Izuku privately. And Deku, after the team meeting, he does want to try to get everyone settled in to adjust, and at least try to think about what to do. Regent is hunting them all down. So, what's the best thing to do before then? Show the world they're still here. And Deku, he does have a plan. And Captain America, before he does to pull Deku aside, he does allow Deku to do one more thing as the leader of the Avengers right now. And that is give a bit of a PSA. And there actually is in Times Square. The screens all cut to black, and everyone's confused. Some looking around, some a bit panicky, some worried, and some think that this might be an address from Regent. However, the billboards, they changed back to normal, showing old advertisements of superheroes. Before, many of the screens, they all do to show one single video, the same video, as Spider-Man's voice can be heard. Alright, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm going to back away and step back into frame. Hey, everybody. It's a bit weird being back, but I know, yeah. Friendly neighborhood webhead. A lot of things have changed over the years, but I want you all to know. We're back, Me and the Avengers. Captain America will walk in, along with Iron Man, and the two do to step right up to Izuku, or Spider-Man, as Iron Man is going to comment on it. Him expressing, over the last 2 years, he did miss the place. Tony, I might have to agree. New York was definitely a place that needs to be protected. Though, I don't think Regent did that good of a job. Crime on the streets? Yeah. He's heard of dictators with better guidelines than him. Though they all do have one thing in common in the end. They all fell. Dictatorships don't last very long. And Regent will just be the next one in a long list of people in history who ruled and fell flat. And right now, the camera doesn't pan out, as there actually is in the background. It shows everybody. It shows Avengers, X-Men, and holy shit, they're all back. People cheering on the heroes. And Regent, whenever his feed does get bombarded by all of this, he is pissed off. And there is then the SHIELD logo, which does go to end the broadcast. It cutting out as Times Square is going to return back to normal. But people, they're still roaring out and cheering. The Avengers are back! The Avengers are back! And that inspires many people. However, there is Regent. Regent is annoyed. He wants this all dealt with. He wants this to end. And Deku does feel the same way. Right now, though, Regent is going to have to wait. Because Mr. Midoriya, he does try to get a few things done. He does get it, well, Iron Man or Tony Stark, a proper lab first off. Second, he tries to at least help work on that super adaptoid. And the super adaptoid is completed before the end of those 2 weeks. And Izuku, he does at least talk to Julia and even talk to Cindy. Cindy has been worried about Deku's increasing in aggression. However, she was also a bit pissed off by the fact that Deku went behind her back and got the fucking Avengers out. Because if she knew Deku did this, she would have helped. They could have gotten more people out of there. And that's the problem she's having. Deku's been distant and she's worried. And Deku just tried to tell her, he'll be fine. Look, I know you've been worried, Cindy, but things will be okay. Okay? Okay? You owe Felicia a favor. You owe her something, and I don't like that. Izuku, listen, I know me and you, we've been getting better. I know things have been good too, but I overlooked the Sinister Six. I overlooked everything that happened there. But you're not telling me everything, okay? I'm sorry. I just, I needed to prove to Blue Marvel, to Adam, that we had a chance, that we were back, that that I could save the world. Izuku, you're closing yourself off again. You did this whenever Regent nearly killed you. You're you're closing me off again. Okay? I I'm sorry. Listen, her actually gonna step forwards and bring Izuku into a bit of a hug, telling him he doesn't have to close her off, shut her out. They've been married long enough to do this. I mean, does that mean nothing? No, no, no. Cindy, I'm sorry. Deku brings his hands up around her, and Cindy is a bit more surprised. Her commenting on it. You know, she's not really used to this new strength of his, but it's not really a bad thing. Hmm? Yeah, you're right about that. Izuku, hmm? Are you okay? Yeah, um, I, you know what? Maybe I'm not okay. Is something wrong? Izuku, has it been sleep, stress? What's going on? I don't know. Okay, calm down. I'm right here. I don't know. Do you want to talk about it? Not really. We don't have to. Just just know I'm right here. Listen to my heartbeat. I know. I'm sorry. I just I just I've been dealing with quite a lot. We all have, but I understand. Right. Sorry. You've been dealing with this just as long as I have. I shouldn't just dismiss you like that. Izuku, you put people ahead of yourself first. You only worry about yourself whenever something is really wrong with you. Do I? I was going to pull away from Julia, or Cindy, and ask her, does he really do that? You do. So what's wrong with you? You can tell me. I'll help you out as much as I can. Okay, just don't close me out again. I've been hearing something. Hearing something. But your mask is telepath proof, I know. We We agreed to keep that change after we got done with Adriana. Izuku, right, right. One of our rules is to never mention her name. Okay. After her, we agreed to that, but I don't know what it is. It's a voice. It's telling me to embrace my spider side. I mean, I already did embrace it a bit more, but I don't know what it wants. It's a voice whispering in my ear, and I've been having strange dreams. Are you okay? No, I, I don't know. I just, I've been able to handle it for right now, but I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know if it's the serum, or just a mental break, or if it's the spider god. The spider god? I guess I didn't tell you about that. Right. I didn't know if it was a hallucination. I thought it was at the time. But there's this thing out there, and it's been calling me, Cindy. I don't know. That's that's the best way to explain it. It's reaching out for me, and I don't know what it wants. Izuku, are you sure? Honestly, if I was possessed by a spider god, it would make a few things make sense. So there is that. It would explain the multiversal travel I think I did. I was still in the same universe, right? I You were in the other universe, and somehow you popped up here in our reality. Right. I don't know what weird powers I had whenever I came back, but I just know what power I have now, and what powers I'm developing. You're you've gained more powers? No, yes? I don't know, Cindy. Listen, I just I felt I should tell you about this. What we're dealing with against Regent. It might be an issue. I know, but what are we gonna do? Right now, the kids are safe, the company runs itself, and there are other people here. What if we, I don't know, just took the day off? A day off? Yeah, yeah, maybe. Maybe for once, we just, well, not once, but how about we let it be someone else's problem for right now? You serious? Yeah. You don't know how happy I am to hear you say that. Her actually going to kiss Deku. Him a lot more surprised, bringing his hands up around Julia, or around Cindy. Now, let's get over to Julia, who she has been trying to look into the possible futures. She's been trying to focus and rekindle the flame of this power. It's definitely been strange. And right now she has looked into the new web. She sees the way that it has developed, the way it's been changing. I mean, it's so massive now. And she remembers whenever the possible futures were small. She remembers whenever it felt weaker. But here it feels different. It's like it's like comparing a drawbridge held together by ropes and wood planks to a cement bridge. It feels more stable. It feels easier to navigate, to walk on. It doesn't feel shaky. Either either the web got more powerful or she gained more control with her abilities, more focus. But it's possibly just both. It could be that her abilities, while she was dormant, she was in a form of meditation, but no, that sounds freaking ridiculous. Maybe she's just looking at a new web differently. It's definitely been a long time. Though she has a lot she does want to make up for, a lot she wants to talk about. She just has a lot of things to say, and that's the issue. But right now she's gonna look into the future. She sees a world where they win. She sees a world where things are better, but she sees another world, one where they lose, and it's definitely bad. It's wrong. It doesn't seem right. But there's the future laid out right in front of her. There's there's Izuku on his knees holding Captain America, and Regent's walking towards him. He he's holding, oh God. And Izuku just sits there. Captain America dead in his arms. Him looking up towards Regent, going to stand and rush towards him, but then being battered away, knocked around, and laser eyes. No, that future can't exist. Isn't no, no. She okay, let's try this again. Her gonna focus. And look into the future once again. Deku isn't flying. Him smashing onto the ground and going to lay there for a second. Him going to try and get back up. The building beginning to collapse around him. Deku going to have his fire sense go off and throw his hands up, as the support pillar is going to fall right on top of him. Him holding it up as there is a spike directly in front of his head. Deku bringing his hands up more and more and pushing it back up. Him bringing his hand up, grabbing the spike or the metal rebar and twisting it to the side. Him holding up the building again. And Julia's gonna watch on. Regent gonna step forwards again. Him gonna face down Spider-Man. And Juliet is gonna skip this future. She feels like she knows how it might end. She already saw people dead in that one. And that's a problem. But okay, another one. Right now her seeing what? No. Wow, that is, oh boy. Uh they uh they won in that one, but yikes. Okay, so how about they go to the, wait a minute. Let's this one looks interesting. We're gonna look at another one. It's very close to that other one, but this is weird. And Deku's not gonna lay there. Him gonna get back up. And Regent is stepping forwards. Him with a spike in his hand, expressing to Mr. Midoriya. He does have to inform him. He's definitely done quite a lot to interrupt him. Regent gonna throw his leg out, smashing it upwards, directing at Spider-Man. Spider-Man being sent flying through the air as Regent is gonna bring his hand up. Him gonna throw the spike out as Deku he's gonna smash into a wall and then gonna bring his hand out, catching it and then gonna turn, tossing it to keep back at Regent. It flying through the air as the minister to throw his hand out. And then Amanda is gonna show up. As Regent is thrown forwards and the spike smashes directly into his neck, breaking through the armor. And right now Regent is gonna bring his hand out, grabbing onto the spike, trying to clutch at his neck as his suit is gonna twist and turn. As he's then ripped apart by Magneto. And that certainly was an interesting future. Okay. So that was, wow. Okay, we're gonna open her eyes. And actually I'm gonna look around. She needs to focus. She picked the wrong future last time. So what exactly should she be doing? Okay. Right. We're gonna head out. And there actually is Izuku. Izuku, he does go to wait. The super adaptoid has been prepared. And there actually is where the Avengers, they've all gathered. And Deku, he actually just won't stand there. Steve Rogers gonna bring his hand up and inform Izuku. He seems to have a bit of a clear mind today, doesn't he? Yeah, I do. I I'm focused. We need to get this all done. You're right about that. So, we're going to be taking him on, right? We are, but we already know that Regent's agents are going to be trying to track us all down. So, S.H.I.E.L.D. will be in charge of a diversion. Whenever Regent sends out forces, that's when we strike. We got Sandman and Toxin along with Hawkeye on that team. Then, we have our main team here. When agents are sent out, they'll try to capture. But Toxin's posing as you, as me. Trust me. Regent will be more inspired to try and send people after you. If he does, we'll win. And if he doesn't, then we gotta kill him. We have to take him down. Fast and quick. That simple. Right. So, Cap, you gonna say it? Say what? You know? You know, son, I think it's your turn. Cap, bring a hand to Deku's shoulder. And Deku does stand there. Him with Cindy behind him. As Deku doesn't smile. He's always wanted to say it. And the Avengers do head out. As Deku does a shout, Avengers, assemble! Let us cut to Regent, who right now he is sitting there on a throne in a giant suit. And let's all be honest. The guy probably watches fucking cat videos in that thing, sitting there all day waiting for some sort of news or some bullshit to happen. And right now, some bullshit starts to happen. Now, Empire Unlimited is directly attacked by the Avengers, and the security system outside, it does go to try and repel the attack. But Iron Man, he was able to blast through the attacks, or the machinery, with ease. And with the help of, let's just call her Friday, he was able to start to hack into Empire Unlimited systems. But there also was a Super Adaptoid. The Super Adaptoid has already been configured to fight against people like Luke Cage, Wolverine, Charles Xavier, and Captain Marvel. So, let's see what it can do. The Super Adaptoid, it right now is blasting away at the building. As there is Regent, who, he tried to set out some minions. He sent out the new Sinister Six, and they were taken down with moderate to relative ease. Deku, he was in charge of fighting Titania, but he sent her flying with a punch. And Deku, he was quite impressed, but there actually was Regent. Regent, he came in, and he was quite surprised. He saw Izuku Midoriya, or as he knows him as, Spiderman, and the Avengers. If this does not feel familiar, the man gonna hold his hand up. As Deku, he actually doesn't get on guard. And Regent does gonna try and attack. Him gonna sound a blast, as he has a shoot from his eyes. And Deku, he has to watch as Regent does gonna turn his hand and blast at Captain America. Right now the Super Adaptoid gonna fly up into the air and blast at Regent. Him going to actually turn and teleport. Him going up into the air and smashing the Super Adaptoid directly in the face. As Captain Marvel, she's trying to go in for the attack. And there actually currently is Deku. Deku doesn't stand there. Him gonna wait. He needs Regent to attack him. Okay, so Cindy and Felicia, they're gonna go into the building. They're going to go to the back and shut down Regent's machines. They just have to hold him off. Be a distraction. Reed's already done quite a bit, but this is also worrying him. Okay, Izuku, you're stronger. Don't just embrace it, Izuku. Embrace it. Embrace the violence. Attack Regent. Now, Deku doesn't want to stand there. And he has actually going to rush forwards. Everyone watching Deku run in and going to leap into the air. Regent right now blasting Carol Danvers away. Him bringing his hands up and throwing the Super Adaptoid onto the ground. As Deku does come in. Regent going to turn, and Deku does throw his hand out, smashing the man across the face. Regent being sent flying backwards through the air. Him trying to stop himself and throwing out his hands. Him going to grab directly onto something and pull himself with a stretching move. Him going to throw himself forwards as he is going to fly forwards. Him flying back at Spider-Man, who he is falling. And Deku, he has to do one thing. He throws his hands down towards the ground and shoots a web. Him sending himself flying back down towards it as Iron Man does throw his hand out. Him going to blast Regent directly in the air. And Regent, he has himself flying to the side and bring his own hand up. Him using his blast to try and send Iron Man packing. But they're actually Captain America. Cap does a turn and toss his shield directly up towards Regent. And Regent, he actually going to turn. Him going to use his hand and blast it out of the air. The shield being hit as it's flying down towards the ground. And there actually is Deku. Deku, he doesn't see that. Him running over and grabbing the shield. Him going to leap over in the air as Regent, he was actually going to turn and throw out his hand. Him smashing onto the shield as Deku, he was going to fly his body over it. His feet sticking to Regent as he was going to throw himself back over, smashing the shield into the back of Regent's head. And Regent is going to throw his hand up at Deku. Deku leaping off and going to turn. Him shooting a web onto the back of Regent and pulling himself back in. Him going to stick to it as he's going to grab his hand up and smash it into the side of Regent's head. Him using the shield and actually going to bring it up. Him trying to attempt to decapitate Regent. But Regent, he is going to do one thing. He goes to teleport. And Deku, the one he felt his spider sense go off, he tried to leap off. And Regent, he did. Deku, he was able to jump off, but Regent was up in the air. Him throwing his hand down, smashing directly into Spider-Man. And Deku feels Regent hit him directly in the back. Him smashing onto the ground is going to turn. Him blasting at Captain America, who does try to dodge. However, he is struck by a stray blast. And right now he is actually smashed onto the ground. Deku getting back up and going to turn. As we do actually have where Julia does come in. Right now her and Jessica Drew. The two do come in for attacks. And Deku, he has to get back up and shoot a web up. Regent going to actually bring his hand up and grab what he thought to be an electric web out of the air. However, the web does going to explode, as if it was a grenade. And Deku just goes on smile. As Julia, she actually saw flying up into the air and smashing her fist out towards Regent. Regent was able to bring his own hand up and grab under hers. However, Deku, he gave her a bit of an upgrade. And Julia blasts out electric webs directly into his hand, as there actually was Jessica, who brought her own hands up and hit him with a venom blast. And Deku, he actually saw that. Him going to bring his hands up and web onto Regent's feet. Him pulling Regent back down to the ground as Regent is going to smash down. Right now, there being where Logan is going to rush in. And he does get it ready. The Super Droid does get to fly in. Him going to bring his hands up with a massive energy blast. Him going to bring his hands down and blast down into Regent, who does get to open his eyes. Him blasting out Cyclops' heat vision. Or Eye Blast, or Optic Beams I believe they're called. Now, Regent is going to blast into the Super Adaptoid. I'm going to meet him as he doesn't actually sit up. I'm going to turn and smash his hand across Logan. Logan being sent flying. As there is where Deku, he actually has this one turn. Right now, Regent going to teleport. The blast being sent flying down to the ground as Regent does going to bring his hands up. Him going to grab onto Logan and go to pull him apart. Him beginning the process of trying to break his neck. Sever what he can. Keep him down. Wolverine is definitely a tough opponent. And Regent is going to throw him down into the ground hard, bring his hand up and smash him across the head. Him just trying to make sure to shake Logan's brain. If he shakes the brain inside, he'll be disoriented. He will heal. But how much can that brain of his heal? Because he'll affect something. Some things might not turn out the same. So that's what he's hoping for. And Deku, he is flying in. As so does Luke Cage. Luke Cage is trying to come in. Him trying to blast out punches at Regent. And Regent is going to dodge. Bring his hand out, smashing Luke directly across the face. And Deku, he does try to radio in. He wants to know what the hell is taking them all so long. That being where Julia, she'll try to talk about it. They're kind of busy. They are trying to free the superheroes. Things are definitely tough. Felicia, she got a bit of a gift from Spidey. web shooters. And oh boy are they fun. Let's get back over to the battle. Where Deku, he actually is going to stand there. Logan and Wolverine are down, and that does not provide him much relief. They were taken down fast. Okay. Right now, this being our Black Widow, there's actually going to turn. Her running around and making sure to try and at least draw his attention. Her turn into Spidey. What he needs to do right now is attack Regent. Take him down and hit him with everything he's got. And Deku, here's a turn. Him going to reach down and web onto Captain America's shield, pulling it over to him and grabbing onto it. Okay, he's got this. I'm going to turn and run into a dead sprint. As Regent is going to turn his head and see Spidey. Him rushing at him as fast as a bullet. And Deku does come in. Regent going to try and spin and throw out his fist. Deku dodging underneath it and bringing the shield up, smashing it directly into Regent's face. Regent taking the blow as his armor does a crack. Him spinning backwards as Deku does throw out his hand, smashing it into Regent and sending him flying through the air. Regent does a stop in the air and fall. Him smashing on the ground and charging towards him, fast, bringing his hands up and actually going to have claws form. And Deku does bring his up the shield. Him having Regent slice away at the shield as Regent does go to push onto the shield. Him bringing his hand out and sticking to it. Him going to pull the shield away from Spider-Man as... Where did he go? Up here, dumbass. Him going to turn, and Deku does a web Regent directly in the eyes. The webs exploding upon contact as Regent does let go. Bringing his hands up to his face as Deku does throw out the shield, hitting it in Regent and it flying back to him. Him going to catch it and throw it again. Regent going to bring his hand out trying to smack the shield away, but Deku does throw out his hand, webbing it back to him and then using it as a yo-yo. Come on, Regent! Him throwing it out. Him going to actually bring his hand out and grab onto it with his left hand, using the web to just throw it back around and at Regent. Come on! Him throwing it out again with his right hand, smashing the Regent and sending him flying backwards. You know you got it! Regent going to actually try and bring his hand up, and blast straight away at Spider-Man. Deku going to actually throw himself up into the air and dodge. Him bringing the shield up and smashing it down into Regent's back. Him being sent flying down and forwards. As Deku just try to tell him again. Come on, he couldn't hit him. Come on, Regent. Not so good now that you don't have those powers? You insolent bug. Insolent? Really? From what I remember, you need all those powers to stop at least more of us. Come on, can't beat anyone like the Hulk without powers? Relying on your own isn't enough? Huh, please. You chastise me, Spider-Man. I know who you really are. You don't know a thing about me. Really. I'm going to turn and throw up his hand. However, he's going to throw out his other hand, blasting away at Black Widow. Her being sent flying backwards and smashing onto the ground. And Deku does turn his head, his attention back towards that. Shit. Julie and Jessica going to come in, as there actually is Reed Richards and Susan Storm. The two are trying to help as much as possible, and things have definitely been a bit more intriguing. They're trying to keep backup and automated systems from going off to send robots towards Regent's location. If that type of stuff happens, it'll definitely be bad. S.H.I.E.L.D's distracting other villains, and they're trying to stop robots from showing up. So, there's gotta be a way to stop him permanently, right? I mean, there is Prison 42, but trying to get the projector there and going to the Baxter building, oh god, that might not even exist anymore, and that's a problem, so they gotta wait. Now, Deku is sent flying backwards by Regent whenever he tried to approach him in anger. And Deku, he actually brought his hands out, clawing into the ground. He wanted to get back up and looking a bit more angry. Regent seeing the body armor underneath. And he actually just won't smile. Him expressing to Spider-Man. He knows him very well. He knows exactly how expensive all that tech might be. And he knows exactly where he got it from. And Deku, he's going to rush back in. The Super Adaptoid trying to blast out towards Regent and fly in. As Regent is going to turn his hand and throw it outwards as hard as possible. Deku, he does it a watch. The Super Adaptoid the thing that took weeks to build. It is struck as hard as Regent can swing, his arm, and the thing is sent flying backwards, shattering into pieces. And Deku does to watch on. Captain Marvel flying in and blasting out his Regent. How the man is going to turn. Him going to teleport away and teleporting right in front of Captain Marvel. Him going to throw his hand out as she's going to spin, her blasting directly into his armor. And Regent, he is actually going to sit there taking the blast. Him going to bring his hands up and grab directly down onto her. Her powers are definitely useful. Then again, he stopped using them years ago. Him going to twist. And Marvel actually have her hands go to fall. The powers fading from her hands. As Regent is going to let go. Her going to actually fall down and smash onto the ground. As Deku is going to watch on. No. Carol. Deku going to turn. As right now, Deku, he was going to watch. Iron Man is one of the only people left standing. Him, Julia, and Jessica. They're the only ones left. And Deku, he actually has a turn. I'm going to scream out for them to retreat. He'll cover them. As Iron Man, he is then ambushed by Regent. I'm going to spin back around and try and use his Unibeam. But Regent is going to do one thing. He throws out his hand and sinks it directly into the Iron Man armor. Him going to throw his hand out, pushing directly onto Iron Man. The arc reactor being ripped from the armor, as Iron Man is going to fall backwards and smash down. Him trapped inside the armor. The Regent is going to step forwards. Him going to actually drop the armor or drop the piece in his claws and express, Mr. Stark. He was quite an envious man at some point, but then he took over the world. How things have changed. So, he's going to do him a favor. Right now, Deku is going to rush in, yelling for him to leave Tony alone. And Deku, when he does come flying in, Regent is going to turn his head. Him throwing out his hand to try and stop Deku. But Deku throws out his hand with all the force he can, smashing directly into Regent's hand and sending Regent flying backwards. Him not expecting Spider-Man to be so strong. And Regent gets sent flying, smashing down to the ground and going to turn. Spider-Man was not that strong the last time they encountered each other, was he? Huh. He definitely didn't overlook those abilities. He's almost... No. Close to, but not like him. I'm going to stand. And as of a smile. Regent reinvigorated. I'm going to look around. The spiders won't serve much purpose. Julia and Jessica were already a part of him at one point. But him, the Spider-Man, the original, he'll do him wonders. He'll take him, find Wakanda, then handle Doom. Or maybe go after Magneto. Yes, that does seem to be the appropriate option. I'm going to bring up his hand and teleport away. As Jessica, she actually does feel her spider sense go off. Her going to spin back around and throw out her hand for another Venom Blast. But Regent's going to bring it up, blasting her directly in the chest, sending her flying backwards to the ground. Her costume torn as she actually is trying to attempt to get back up. And Deku doesn't see her. Her body shaking. And Deku does a turn, yelling at Julia about what to do. And Deku is going to rush back in. As Luke Cage, he is going to rush forwards. And Deku is trying to tell Luke to get the hell away from here. And Deku, he does going to rush towards Regent. The man going to throw up his hand. Deku throwing out his hand as hard as possible. And Regent is actually grabbing onto his hand this time and try and force it backwards as much force as possible. Him beginning to feel his suit give a bit of give. It starts to break a bit. And Regent is pushing back Spider-Man with as much force as possible. However, he's losing. And Deku, he is actually going to send out a spike directly into Regent's hand. Him piercing into the suit, and Regent is going to scream out in pain. Bringing his hand out, smashing Spider-Man backwards. And Spidey is sent flying. Him going to actually fly directly into a building and smash into it. Him being sent through the cement wall and through another one. Smashing through two more as he finally does a smash into a support pillar. Him going to fall down and going to try and get back up. No, he's not done. Yes, Izuku, embrace it. Now, Degu's going to feel his eyes. The light feels sharper again. No. Oh, God damn it. His lens is broke. No, he's fine. I'm going to get up. and rush back into battle. Him leaping out of the building and smashing down to the ground. His suit beginning to repair itself. As his body armor doesn't get exposed, it with a Spider-Man symbol engraved on it. And Regent is with a smile. Spidey has made improvements over the years. Let's see what he can really do. Him going to actually rush towards Deku. As Deku, he's going to rush forwards. Regent throwing out his hand. Deku dodging underneath and throwing his hand up, him shooting a spike Rookie out. Him going to smash Rookie into Regent's armor and have his knife skid off of it. Him throwing out his hand. As Regent is going to teleport behind Deku, and Deku is going to throw out his leg, smashing Rookie into Regent as Regent is going to throw up his hands to block. Deku spring back around. In Regent, he is going to bring up his hand to blast. Deku going to actually throw his hand up and shoot out explosive webs. Now, the grenades are going to throw themselves out, smashing on a Regent. They're going to blow as Deku dodged directly to the left of Regent's blast. In Regent, he threw out his hand, him trying to predict where Deku might be. But Deku, he then leaped up into the air and shot out more webs. And while that was happening, Julia tried to get both Jessica out of here, while Luke, he tried to get Cap and Iron Man out of here. That is definitely the option. They need to retreat. And it's easier right now for Deku to distract Regent than it is for them to get them out of here. So, yeah. Regent is going to face off against Spider-Man. And Deku, he doesn't hold back. He needs to find that shield again. He needs to actually take on Regent. Regent actually throwing out his hand. As Deku does a dodge of the way as Regent, he actually does a teleport. Him throwing up his leg and smashing Deku in the side of the ribs. Deku going to somewhat cough as he actually does spin back around. Regent going to try and throw his leg down as Deku, he did get a spin. Him throwing out his hand, piercing directly into Regent's body armor. And Deku, he does continue pushing forwards as hard as possible. Him cutting into Regent, and Regent just won't scream out again. Deku causing more and more damage. Him going to throw up his hand towards Regent's head. Regent dodging by moving his head and elongating it. Him stretching out of the way as he actually going to increase the size of his fist. Him going to smash Rookie into Deku and send Deku flying again. And Deku, he's also skidding down to the ground. Him landing on all fours and going to rush towards Regent like that. And Regent is a bit more surprised. Deku running on the ground like a dog. Him actually going to rush forwards and throw his hand up. Him shooting out the explosive webs towards Regent's eyes. Him throwing down his fist as though it's going to explode in midair. Him is more surprised because he thought he could have dodged it, ducking underneath the explosion. However, right now it went off right behind his head. And Regent doesn't feel the force moving forwards. Deku throwing up his fist as hard as possible, sending him up into the air and flying. And Regent's a lot more alarmed. Him flying through the air and trying to stop himself, smashing Doki into the Empire Unlimited building. As Deku, he actually gets back up. And right now there actually is where Juliet is going to rush back into the battle. And there is Deku staying there. Him doing so with the red suit and the black body armor on. However, he looks bigger, more aggressive. Deku going to turn, yelling at her to get the hell out of here. Get Widow and go. Get Logan and go. And right now Julia does this look around. Her trying to find them. As Julia does come flying back down to looking back at Deku. And Deku does that throw out his hands, leaping up into the air. Him throwing his fist backwards to meet Regent. But Regent, whenever Deku does that throw out his fist, he does actually dodge out of the way with his head. Regent punching Spider-Man directly into the face. And Deku is then flying down to the ground. Regent going to actually fall forwards and smash into Spider-Man, landing on his gut as Deku does not feel the pain and he's going to bounce off of the concrete. Regent smashing into him then, as he actually does going to throw down his hand, him smashing it down in Spider-Man's face. Him going to step off and pull him up in the air. Him seeing him flying up in the air as Spider-Man, he actually does look to spin. Him a bit more disoriented. Izuku, him is going to fall. And Deku just keeps trying to ignore it. But he can't. He's embracing it. He's embracing something. The violence, the bloodshed. It just feels good. And Deku, he actually is then approached by Regent. The man throwing out his fist to try and meet Deku while he was falling towards him. And Deku, he was going to take the punch. Him makes it flying backwards and smashing into the collapsed building. Him smashing through and hitting into a wall. As Deku, he actually just won't lay there for a second. Him attempting to try and move, throwing his hands down to the ground as they shake. That was hard. I'm trying to get back up. The building going to collapse. Deku, feeling the support pillar, fall towards his back. It going to actually pierce directly into the back of his shoulder as the rebar is going to poke through the front of it. Deku screaming out as he's going to throw back his hands to try and keep the building up. No. No. Okay. Okay, crap. He's pinned. Ah, shit. Shit. No, no. He can't. He can't. Okay. Okay, no. It's all cartilage there. He could. It's all cartilage and muscle. Okay. He could rip through it, but he might hit the bone. The. Okay, okay. No. Come on. Spider-Man. Him pushing it back up. And Deku is going to feel the rebar beginning to get pulled from his shoulder. Deku going to do so as Regent is to step forwards. Him expressing to Spider-Man, isn't he in quite the predicament? And Deku is going to look up. Regent expressing, he's back in a collapsing building. He wants to know if he'll survive this time. He does want to understand, though. Were his abilities always like this, or did they get better with age? Is that the secret to his power? The older he gets, the stronger he gets. He heard that was a theory posed by his guardians. They age like fine wine. More powers the older they get. Though that does pose a question, is he his guardian? Because he does not believe so. Regent going to bring up his hand, and Deku is going to feel his spider sense go off. He has a choice. Being fried, or being crushed. And Deku, he actually doesn't feel a spider, and informing him to embrace it more. And Deku, he is going to do so. Him throwing up his hands as General Regent is alarmed. Deku actually pulling the support beam from the building, pushing it way too high as he was going to rush forwards. Him smashing into Regent with both fists, seeing him flying out of the building. And Julia actually saw that. Regent being thrown out of the building as Deku, he actually somewhat stepped forwards. Her going to watch Regent fall into the ground and smash down. Him going to get back up with two massive wounds in his shoulders. As Deku does a step out, him right now with both blades from his wrist. As he is... No. No, not this one. Her gonna watch. As Spider-Man, he's growing in size. And Regent is gonna see it. As Deku, he's gonna bring his hands up. Him going to claw away at his mask as he actually gonna rip it off. As Regent is gonna see it. 4 massive eyes. And then Deku, he's gonna start to mutate. His hands growing in size and being covered in hair. As, right now Spider-Man, he has to scream out. Him saying more like an inhuman insect or animal. As he actually grow appendages from his back. And the man spider is going to stand there. And Regent is going to stare on. An incredible amount of power. This is impressive. This is... I'm going to rush forwards. And we do actually cut to Felicia and Cindy. The two were definitely having a bit of fun. Felicia was happy. I mean, Spidey owes her a favor. And she has to team up with his wife. Well, this ruins her mood. That being on her mind. As Cindy, she, is typing away at a computer. Her talking about it. Okay. She's got it right now. Izuku told her about what to do, and he ran her through this. So how serious are you two? What? I mean, like, how serious is your marriage? It's very serious, but I'd rather not talk to you after what you pulled last time I saw you. That wasn't the last time you saw me. Right. You ruined our anniversary. Come on now. It was all fun. You two just didn't like it. We made up for the day, but Izuku apologized for you. Aw, he did that. Well, I am gonna have to apologize for him. I do have plans for Izuku and me, and sadly, I don't think you can be involved. You're really gonna try and betray me here? No, not here. But I'm just saying. You could be out of the picture. but I'm not trying to get on his bad side. You know, he's kind of been through a lot. So you're trying to break me and him up so you can replace me, like how you want to replace him with Cain or Cain with him. That that's a low blow. Is it now? Listen, I can't talk to you and do this at the same time, so just shut your mouth and quit being a quit being a what? You know what I was gonna say. Were you gonna say whore? No, I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna say interrupting our marriage. You were gonna say whore, right? No. No, Felicia. I get that you've been going through some things. We're gonna bring your left hand up from the computer. But you. You've been way too persistent. I knew him before you did. Yeah, but I married him. You didn't. You played games with him. You messed with him and you know he was heartbroken after, well, Toga died. He was? Who's Toga? He never told you about his first girlfriend? Why would you speak to him about his ex? She wasn't his ex. She died before she got to that point. Oh, I I didn't know. Now you sound more serious. We're gonna bring our hands back out and onto the computer. Typing away again. Okay, uh, no, you're doing it wrong. Hmm? No, I'm not. Yes, you are. I'm doing it exactly how he told me to. He put up another security measure. Look. Hmm? Where is it? Okay. Um, crap, where did it go? Shit. Right there, right there. Hmm? Where? Oh, I see it, I see it. We're gonna tip away. And right now, Cindy, she actually does go to pass the security measure. Her gonna turn and someone gonna jump with excitement. She got it! And Felicia does bring her hand up. As the two do a high five each other. Her gonna actually somewhat turn to Cindy as the two do somewhat gonna stare at each other. Her gonna actually somewhat turn and walk. Expressing. She's gonna go find something to steal. Hmm? Right, I gotta inform everyone as to what happened. Huh. Real Futurama in here. That right now in Cindy's mind. As Cindy, she tries to welcome everyone to the future. While that's happening, we do actually cut back to Deku. Deku, he was fighting Regent. And Regent, he was definitely having a bit of fun. He was sent flying backwards by the man spider. And Spider-Man, he currently does a scream out in pain as his wounds are beginning to heal. Him gonna rush forward towards Regent. And Regent, he actually threw out his hand to try and blast him as... No. His hand. Spider-Man can actually tackle down the Regent. And I'm going to smash him down to the ground and bury him into the ground. Deku going to bring his hands out, grabbing towards Regent's head. Him going to actually rip apart the armor. And Regent is going to throw out his hands. Right now he's just a man in a tin can. At the mercy of a monster. And Spider-Man, he does not hold back. He brings his hand out, clawing directly into the suit. Him beginning to rip it apart over and over and over. And Regent, he is then found by the creature underneath that armor. And Deku does throw out his hands, him grabbing directly at Regent and pulling him up and out. I'm going to turn and toss him. And Regent does a smash onto the ground hard. I'm going to roll and try to get back up. He needs to run. I'm going to turn and try to bolt. As one of the man spider does a turn, his massive arachnid arm flying out and smashing directly into Regent's back. Him being pulled back towards Deku as Deku does throw out his hand. Him smashing it directly into Regent's throat and grabbing onto him, pulling up into the air as right now Spider-Man, he does a stare at Regent. His massive four eyes staring back at this man, unhinging his toothy jaw, or maw. And right now Regent, he's screaming out in pure fear. He expected Spider-Man, not this fucking arachnid monster. And he's scared. And there actually is Julia. Julia is gonna watch on. As right now, Man Spider does a sink his teeth directly into Regent's throat. him gonna rip away his pound of flesh. As Rhino Man Spider is gonna turn back to Regent. Him going to let go of Regent as the man is gonna fall. And the Man Spider, he does gonna somewhat embrace his victory. Him gonna throw out his hands and scream out as he is a gladiator. And right now people, 2 blocks away, they can hear this monster scream. They hear a beast. It's almost like a lion's roar, but it sounds way higher. And Julia does gonna stand there. As the Man Spider does gonna sniff the air, he smells something. He smells. I'm gonna turn his head. I look to see Julia standing there. And Julia just won't stare on. As the Man Spider just going to sniff the air again. That smell. No. She's not. She is a rival. I'm still going to face her. And Man Spider just won't scream out in anger. As Julia, she actually won't turn. Her going to run off. And around the Man Spider, he does not give chase. She is not another king. But he smells something nearby. He smells a queen. He smells something else too. Something delicious. And Man Spider does a turn. Him beginning to make his way towards Cindy. And right now Cindy got out of the building. And she was trying to get the heroes away. She tried to turn back to the battlefield. But she saw that there was... What in God's name is that? Her gonna bring her hand up to her ear and turn her radio back in. Regent has a monster. And right now Cindy does a stare on at it. As there is or someone is gonna radio back in. That's not a monster, that's Zuko. Get the hell out of there. And Cindy does a turn back. Her telling the heroes about what to do, as right now not Captain Marvel, because she fucking died. Right now, there is not Iron Fist. There is Nova. There we go. Who does come flying in. Him gonna blast Spider-Man away as Spider-Man just won't shriek out because of the fire. And there actually is then the Human Torch, who just gonna blast the flames down and talk about it. Come on now, Spider-Man or Man Spider. Come on, which does he prefer? He can't get these people. They are under Johnny's protection. And Deku just doesn't stare up. Him opening his mouth and shooting out webs directly at Johnny. And Johnny is going to float there. As the fire, it does protect him. The webs being singed and destroyed as what remains of the net is going to fly around Johnny. It presumably going to land on a superhero being carried out. As, right now Man Spider, here's a turn. I'm going to look at Cindy and look at the rest of the heroes. Him going to turn and leave. He needs to make his escape. He needs to find a place. Right now, Deku, he's not there. All that's there is the instincts of a creature trying to survive. And like any creature, it will do what it needs to. Feed, live, search for food, water. That's all he needs. He needs to hunt, survive, no, thrive. And that's all that's going through his head. And Cindy's a bit more alarmed. She knows that Deku created that serum. But this is the result? I mean, Jesus Christ. They have to find a cure. They have to save him, right? Regent is... Oh my god. Regent's actually dead. But no, she didn't expect that. Right now someone's going to walk over and bring their hand up. As Jessica does, someone going to turn to Julia. Or Cindy does going to turn directly to Jessica. I'm getting everyone mixed up right now. Right now, her trying to tell her. They'll find him. They just need to get after him. And there actually is Felicia. Felicia saw Spider-Man go to leave. And she was definitely curious about what was going on there. She saw that creature. And hey, that looked like Spidey. I mean, she heard on the comms chatter. But don't tell Spidey she did that. She heard about how Spider-Man mutated. And Jessica? She tried to fill in the heroes. They will all gather back together and figure things out. they'll deal with Spider-Man when he pops up. Inevitably, he will. It's just bound to happen, or he'll sleep it off and, well, they'll have to pick him up somewhere, probably with a change of clothes. So hopefully it's just option B. Yeah, maybe B is better than A, but they're not exactly too sure. 'Cause if he does come back to his senses, then what happens then? Can they cure him, or what? Is this just a new thing, or yeah? Cindy, she doesn't mind Izuku having a beard, but a full-on hairy tarantula-faced maw, that's kind of a deal breaker. So there's that. Now, Felicia went to go give chase. Spider-Man made his way inside of what should be an abandoned warehouse. And right now, Felicia does a look around. Her going to hear the sounds. She hears it searching around, and there actually is the Savage. The Savage does try to search, find what it can, and it begins to spin its own web. It somewhat going to lay there for a second. It up high in the dark, and he needs to think. He feels fatigue, exhaustion. Now is the time to sleep, recover, heal, then hunt. Hunt at night. Hunt when it is easier for prey. Prey. Food. Hunger. Queen. He needs a queen. A spider. He needs to survive, thrive, do what he can. He must. Spider-Man. Himself gonna look down, and he does gonna see Black Cat. Her walking in, expressing. She wants to know where Spidey is. I mean, he's gotta be here, right? So, how did things go with Regent? I mean, she found some pretty good things to steal, but she's not too sure she can get half of that out of there. Maybe that favor can be that he helps her steal all that stuff? I mean, someone's gotta pay top dollar for an arc her hearing something smashed up behind her. And then there's a sound. Her actually not gonna turn and see the massive thing with Spider-Man's mask on his face. What the hell? Spider? You. Spider-Man? Izuku? You. Queen. I'm actually going to bend down. And right now he's actually reach out for Felicia. And Felicia's a bit confused. What? Right now the creature going to bring its hand out. And bring it up to her. It going to bring its talon up to her chest. And tell her. Her hearing the actual words of the creature. It's sounding a lot more human. It's going to say in a bit of a voice, she is the queen. Her somewhat a bit confused. Her going to look back up towards the massive creature. And it does go to shrink down a bit. Her a bit confused. The creature going to do so and actually bring its hands up. It bring them down and grabbing onto Felicia. Her a bit more surprised. It's still taller than her. It lifting her as if she's light as a feather. And telling her. Her a bit more surprised whenever Deku brings her in close. She is the queen. Spider? Yes. You are my queen. You shall be her. Her a bit more surprised. Whenever Deku is gonna kiss her. And she, well, this is intriguing. Her a bit more alarmed. Her gonna pull back as Spider-Man looks a bit more human-like. His face is, the teeth are gone. What? He doesn't seem like a feral beast. He seems normal. Her gonna lean back in again. And right now she has a kiss onto the creature. It's definitely new, but she feels like she's still with Kane. And right now, Man Spider, he doesn't hold on to Felicia. Her a bit more surprised. Him going to bring out his claw and prepare. Now, with that being said, the Avengers and the Earth's heroes, they are trying to gain their bearing. They don't know what's going on. They don't, they're not too sure what's happening. But this is definitely alarming. Surprising? Yeah, surprising is definitely a word for it. Some heroes, they've died. They fell. Some need to be hospitalized. And others, they're definitely alarmed. But there actually is Magneto. Magneto, he does try to offer Xavier a chance. He wants him to join him in Genosha and help their people rebuild. He's already gotten an alert that several mutants have been recovered from, well, Regent, and he wants them to have a proper home in Genosha. Get accustomed to life as it is now, and he wants them to know what their people have been through, what they have experienced, and what has changed for them. So, if anyone needs to recuperate, they can do so there, and he can feel free to call him. Now, while that is all going on, there actually is Cindy. Cindy is a bit more, well, on alert. She tries to go out. Now that she doesn't need to hide, now that she doesn't need to worry about being hunted, now that the heroes are all back in action, people are safer again. But she needs to find him. And she tries to search. And nothing comes up. Nothing pops up. Things are odd. But right now we do actually have Izuku. Right now the main spider doesn't lay there. It just having its massive legs dangle through the spider webs. It's just letting them go limp. As he does somewhat going to turn, him going to hold on to his queen. And Felicia's been having fun. It's definitely nice. It feels like old times. And this is fun. Though, exactly what will happen to Spider? She's worried for him. She really is. Now, with all that being said, I do believe that that is a good point to leave this part off of. And I do hope you guys enjoyed and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.